Yo everyone, Poke here. Today I'm going to be sharing 5 ways you might be losing time during your Mario runs. These are some mistakes you might not even realize you're making, and these are the kind of things that even the pros sometimes mess up on. And trust me, this last one took me years to even figure out. So let's just jump right in and get faster at Mario. Castle movement covers any movement inside the castle. That is, the parts of your run that aren't in a stage. Since these segments might seem small, they often get overlooked and they're often under practice. But let the neurons connect for a second. If you just lose half a second per castle movement across a 70-star run, the losses add up pretty quickly, and you might even be missing out on more time saved compared to the XCAM records. To save that time, first ensure you know the correct castle movement. Many homebrew methods lose entire seconds when compared to the XCAM routes, so you should study the XCAM sheet that many top runners use. And if you don't know about the XCAM sheet, check out my other video that explains the sheet along with other resources you should probably know about. Once you know the proper movement for a section, just practice it like you would a star. Whether you use streaks or keep track of your XCAM times, just keep going until you're within a few frames of the record and you're consistent. And you don't have to be perfect every time, you just gotta get close. For example, look at how you exit CCM. The typical homebrewed route that many runners use costs more time, while the XCAM route shows a clear difference. Text boxes are everywhere in your run, and while scrolling through them might just seem easy, timing is pretty much everything. If you're mashing A and B through every text box, you might actually be missing that perfect window to scroll the text box, causing you to wait an extra frame, or even worse. Instead of spamming A and B, try timing your A-B presses with a roll. This is where you press A and then B with one finger. This gives you 2 chances to hit a frame perfect scroll, but you gotta keep in mind that the timing can actually vary. On the Japanese version, you actually need to wait a bit longer between text boxes than in the US version, because for some reason, the text boxes on US scroll a significant amount faster than on JP. Using a visual cue or just getting a good feel for the timing can actually make a big difference in your overall run. Dusty movement refers to the dust animation on Mario's long jumps, jump dives, and rollouts. Each frame where Mario lands, Mario is actually losing speed. Even starting a long jump can lose time with a dust animation if you don't immediately start the long jump. The key is to minimize the time Mario spends on the ground by achieving this dustless movement. That means that you're getting your inputs down on the very first frame after landing. At higher levels of play, those few dust frames can actually make or break a world record, even if they're too subtle for viewers to notice. Over time, those frames and the loss of speed can add up to entire seconds. Every run comes with its fair share of mistakes, and even world record runs have pretty big mistakes. So what happens when you mess up a lot? Instead of ending the run, learning solid backups can actually reduce a massive time loss into a small one. It might seem daunting to develop a backup for every star, especially on the longer categories such as 120 and 70, but it's actually more straightforward than you think. When you're in practice and you make a mistake, instead of immediately resetting, you can experiment with movements or alternative routes that lessen the setback. For example, if you miss pillarless in one section, you might be able to grab the pyramid star with a long jump alternative. Sure, it might mean changing your star order just a little bit, but it's a smart trade-off to keep your run going. Lastly, let's talk about run spamming. So what is run spamming? This happens when you do too many runs with minimal targeted practice. And while doing runs is indeed practice, it often forces you into a cautious mindset that doesn't allow for any risky or experimental techniques. The main point is, practice is essential for cleaning up mistakes and eliminating bad habits, and ultimately, these 2 things will end up with you getting faster. Finding a balance is key, and some runners follow ratios like 70-30, 50-50, or 40-60 practice ratios, where 70-30 means 70% practice and 30% runs. But you gotta also remember that only doing practice won't prepare you for the pressures of an actual PB. So if you're right now mostly doing practice, consider incorporating stage RTA or segment RTA to get good at those pieces of your runs while getting used to the nerves of a full run. Before I end this video, here's a couple of bonus tips, and these are some small things you might not even know are losing you frames, and they're pretty easy to fix. The first one is file select. If you're mashing start on the file select screen, you're actually losing time. Instead of just mashing start, buffer your start press on that white screen and you'll get it every time. The second one is actually star select, and it's similar to text boxes where spamming A and B actually costs you time. On the star select screen, the game always allows you to hit the selection at the same time in the same frame. So this means you can actually use the star rotation animation as your cue for a frame perfect star select. And since you can press A, B, and start to select a star, you can add all three of these buttons for 3 chances at a frame perfect star select. And this third one is Mongo Audio. This might actually sound surprising, but having the wrong sound setting on your game can actually cost you time. Over the course of a 120 star run, setting the audio to mono instead of stereo actually saves 1.6 seconds, and probably even more over using headset audio. So just set your audio to mono for some free time save. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope these tips help you save those extra seconds. And these videos take a lot of work to put together, so if you found this helpful, drop a like and maybe subscribe to let me know that you want more content like this. So thanks again for watching, and remember, become legend.